Ice baths create a perfect fitness story. Dramatic discomfort now, faster recovery later. The missing question is recovery for what? A meta-analysis of acute exercise found benefits for soreness, perceived recovery, and some power outcomes 24 hours later. A separate review of resistance training programs found that immediate cold water immersion may slightly reduce muscle growth compared with lifting alone. Both statements can be true. Cold can help you feel ready for tomorrow while muting part of the signal that helps muscle adapt over weeks. The choice is not cold versus science. It is short-term readiness versus long-term adaptation. The long-term review found 8 eligible resistance training studies. In simple before and after estimates, training alone produced a standardized hypertrophy change of 0.36, while training plus immediate cold immersion produced 0.14. The direct comparative estimate also leaned toward greater growth without cold. The authors concluded that immediate post-exercise immersion may attenuate hypertrophy, probably by a small amount. They also stressed that the evidence base was only fair to poor. 8 studies are enough to raise a practical warning, not enough to calculate a universal percentage of lost muscle. The chart is a trade-off, not a verdict. Resistance training alone sits at 0.36, training plus cold at 0.14. These are standardized study estimates, not centimeters of muscle. The cold protocols differed in water temperature, duration, body area, and timing. Participants also differed in training experience. A small attenuation could matter to a bodybuilder optimizing every session, while being irrelevant to someone using strength work for general health. The key is to align the recovery tool with the goal, instead of copying the most dramatic routine. Now the acute recovery side. A separate meta-analysis included 52 studies comparing cold immersion with passive recovery after strenuous exercise. 24 hours after high-intensity exercise, cold improved muscle soreness and perceived recovery, reduced creatine kinase, and modestly improved muscular power. Strength recovery, however, did not significantly improve. After eccentric exercise, the reliable benefit was narrower. This is why athletes can sincerely report feeling better while a particular performance measure remains unchanged. Soreness, confidence, power, and strength are different outcomes with different time courses. For tournament play, repeated matches, or a hard training camp, being less sore tomorrow may be the priority. For a hypertrophy-focused block with time to recover naturally, protecting the adaptation signal may matter more. That suggests a periodized approach. Use cold selectively when near-term readiness is valuable, and avoid making immediate post-lifting immersion an automatic ritual after every growth-focused session. The studies do not identify one perfect waiting period, and moving the bath later has not been tested enough to promise that it removes the trade-off. Cold water immersion also has real safety considerations. Sudden cold can trigger rapid breathing, a strong cardiovascular response, and loss of coordination. Do not use extreme temperatures, practice alone in risky water, or assume more suffering means more recovery. People with cardiovascular conditions or other relevant risks need individual medical guidance. A cool shower is not the same exposure as whole-body immersion in very cold water, so results cannot be transferred casually between methods. The studies tested protocols. Social media often tests bravado. The evidence-based takeaway is a decision rule. If tomorrow's soreness and short-term power matter more than maximizing this training block's muscle growth, cold immersion may be useful. If hypertrophy is the priority and you have normal recovery time, routinely jumping into cold water immediately after lifting may be counterproductive. Strength recovery itself was not reliably improved. The evidence is imperfect, so the best strategy is selective rather than absolute. Do not ask whether ice baths are good. Ask which outcome at which time point, and whether that outcome matches the reason you trained. Remember that reduced soreness can change behavior. Feeling fresh may let an athlete train sooner, which could help or hurt depending on the program. The reviews measure outcomes, not every downstream coaching decision. Recovery is useful when it supports a good plan. It is not automatically useful when it encourages unnecessary extra work.